Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Let me just share with you guys, this small story that I want prepared for you guys. This is it. There was one gentleman who wanted to work so hard for a boss, and then, over the period of the time that he's gonna work, he wanted the money that they would pay him to be given at once, regardless of the years that he would spend with his boss. And so he ended up spending 25 years working for this boss diligently. And so, the boss had to pay him, lump sum, the whole amount that he has been working for over the 25 years. He would pay it up, at one time, then he would go back to their family. So this is what they have agreed to. And of course the boss reluctantly agreed to that as well. So the guy was working, he was committed to working so hard that, he ended up working for the 25 years. And when the time reached for going back, he wanted to go back. And so he told the boss, you know what, my boss, I've worked enough for you. I've really done my best. I want to go back home. And then the boss told him, you know what, fine. You have worked so good for me. You want to go back home. I'm giving you two options. Number one is, I'm going to let you go. You go home and you don't get any money from me, but I will leave you with 3 good principles that I've been living my life with, and that has made me who I am today. And then number 2 is, I will pay you all your money and I will not give you the 3 advice. So whatever you agree to is what I will do. And so he gave him 1 month to go and think through it, and then he would come back, and then they would sort it out. And so he went back and he continued working so good. He finished his 1 month. He came back to the boss. Then the boss told him, have you already made your mind? Then he said yes. And then he asked him, what is it that you have made up your mind with? I'm like, okay, no, before you tell me, go back and then have 1 week to think through again what I have told you, and then you come back to me when you have, you have made your final conclusion on this, and we see what happens, so that I could set you off on your journey. So he's like, okay, fine. He went back and then thought, he pondered over all these scenarios, and then he had to come back. After 1 week, he came back to the boss and was like, boss, I've made up my mind now. I need to go. And so he said, okay, what is it that you have made up your mind to do? So the boss is like, okay. The guy is like, I would rather go without the money, that I've worked, but give me those 3 principles that can make me to go back and live my life just as successful as you have been. And so, and the boss told him, these are the 3 advice I want to give you. Number 1, don't take any shortcut in whatever you do. Do your part as life leads you, but don't take any shortcut. Number 2 was, don't get involved in anything that happens around you, And then number 3 was, don't be quick to respond to anything that happens around you. First analyze the situation. After, making a concrete decision, then you go ahead and transact business or do anything that you want. So these were the 3 things he gave him. But before even he left, before they made him to prepare, they told him, you will go now, sleep, and then tomorrow I will set you on your journey. He slept over, in the morning came, and then when he was supposed to be leaving, for his journey, then the boss was like, okay, this is the thing I'm going to tell you. The thing is, I've given you 2 bread. This number 1 bread, you first eat this one before you set off your journey. After eating this one bread, go with it home, you eat this one with your wife, And so, this is the thing. So he ate the other one that they gave him to eat before, and then he headed his way. He went home, there were 2 ways. There was one shortcut, and then there was a long way to go home. He heeded the shortcut. He started moving because he was excited. He was, feeling that blissful memories that is resonating in his mind, and all the things that, he has missed from home. He just took off in the shortcut. But just before he could go so far on his journey, he remembered, what advice they gave him. Then he returned back on this long way, to move through the long way, to go home. And literally, on the shortcut, there were thugs that were on the way, waiting to disarm him and get the small bread that they gave him to go and eat with his wife. But he was lucky, he was saved because he remembered the advice they gave him. Number one, he came back on his way, the long way, not to take an easy way out. Yeah, he proceeded. On his way, he got tired, and then he slept in a lodge, and on sleeping on the lodge, he wanted to proceed on his journey. But as he was sleeping in the night, there were a lot of fights outside, and they were fighting so much. He wanted to come out and rescue the situation, but he remembered the advice that they say, don't get involved in anything that is going around you, especially if it doesn't concern you. So he continued to sleep so good, and it was just a planned stuff that they wanted him to come out, and they still snatched his thing, But he got saved because he did not come out to involve himself in things that did not matter to him, that did not concern him. And then he proceeded his way. On reaching home, on his arrival home, he saw one man kissing the wife on the forehead. He wanted so bad to pick up a fight. He was devastated to see that on his arrival, But on the other hand, also the wife, when she saw this guy, she was excited. There was jubilation, But he could not join the party because of what he had seen, until when they had to sit down, and the wife had to explain to him that before you left, you left me impregnated, and I produced this one kid, and this is a kid that I produced after you had gone. I did not tell you because there was no way I could communicate to you, but this is your son. So he wondered, he's like, if I had gotten into this, then what would it have been? It would have been terrible. So, the bread that he was given to eat with the wife, he opened it up to eat it in the morning with the wife. And then what happened is they found gold. So much gold in that bread that was worth a lot of money. This is the essence of the story, guys. Don't take this shortcut in life. Don't get involved in things that do not concern you sometimes, almost all the time. Don't be quick to judge someone. Don't rush to conclude. So that is it, guys. If you want to live a life that is worth living, concentrate and do that which is good. I hope you learned something from this story. In the same way, we can learn as well from the Bible. The story of Jacob working for Rachel. And, Laban, the father of Rachel, gave him 7 years to work to marry Rachel, of which he agreed. Jacob worked diligently. He was committed. He was relentless. He was steadfast, unwavering to see that he would get Rachel into his life. So eventually what happened? Laban changed his mind and then gave Leah. He explained to Jacob that in their tradition you cannot marry off the other second-borns or the other heirs without marrying the firstborn. Then Jacob, realizing, said, no, this is not the person I work for. I wanted Rachel. Then he went back to Laban, and then Laban told him, you work for 7 more years if you want Rachel. So he was committed. He worked for 7 more years, and then he got Rachel finally. And let's be committed, let's be diligent, let's be relentless, unwavering to get that which we want. Let's have the agility to access our dreams in the shortest time possible. That is what is going to help us. And above all, pray bold prayers to get that which you want. Don't let people's opinion of you define you, because if you allow them to define you, then that means they will confine you and you cannot do anything without their opinion. But I know that you are a winner, you are born talented, you are great a person, that you can do anything in your own timing and you will get that which you've been wanting, that which you have been fighting for. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Take care of yourself. Peace from me to you.